Hello everyone, welcome back to the another video. My name is Ram. Today we are going to discuss about GCP storage. So we'll be talking about the Google Cloud Platform storage option as a storage bucket, that is also known as object-based storage in the GCP. So let's understand what is the object-based storage and what is the object storage. So generally, if we talk about the object storage, right? So that is one kind of the architecture or the strategy to manage a large amount of the data, unstructured data, into the file or the palace where we can put the unstructured data, just like we can put the file in the different units, just like file, video file, music file, any image file or any kind of the file we can put there. That is also being used sometime for the data migration from the on-prem to the cloud. So that's all about the object. So all the data would be in a object unit, right? Unit called as an object, as an individual object. Sometimes it's also hold the metadata and all that. So that's all about the storage. So just like in AWS we have the S3 bucket, but in the same, just like if we come on the GCP cloud, then we have the storage, and we will be creating a storage bucket, and we'll be doing everything on the practical level or the proof of concept, just like to how we can manage the data into the object storage in GCP. So what you have to do, you have to log in into the GCP console, and in the search bar you have to write the storage. So you have to go to the cloud storage. Once you will go to the cloud storage, then you will be landing on this page. That's a cloud storage page. Here what you can do, you can create right now. If you are seeing that we don't have any kind of the buckets, right? And let's create a new bucket here. Click on the create, and first you have to give a globally unique name for that bucket, right? That should not be something like the common name which is taken by another people, right? Let's suppose test, right? So the bucket name is already taken. So we have to take a globally unique name, some different, right? Which has not been taken, and this is something like that DNS name, right? So we have given this random name, and it has taken because this is not the taken by another user, right? Next, we have to click on the label if you want to give any kind of the any kind of the information on this right bucket, right? Then we can give the labels, just like if you want to add from which environment this bucket belong, then what we can do, we can put here the there. So this would be saved as a labels, right? So we have added the labels here. Okay. Sorry. Click on the continue, and then second we have to choose where we want to store our data, right? So we have to select that whether we want to keep our data into multi-regions or dual regions or regional data, right? So this is the highest availability across the largest area, right? If you are going with a multi-region, then your data would be stored in the multiple regions. If you go in the Americas region, right, there would be automatically your data would be replicated to the another regions or data center, right, in the US, right? So how many so the regions are there available in the US? All the data would be replicated among the all the we can say the regions and the data centers. And if you go with the dual region, then what it's high availability and low latency across two regions. It gives the high availability and low latency between the two regions only. Let's suppose if you want to hold your data into the Americas region, right? Then what you can do, you can here you can see a lot of, right? But when you will try to select more than two, then it will give us the denied error that you cannot select more than two, because we have selected here as a two, right? So dual region, right? And if you add this option, right, add turbo replication, so this target total encryption data replicate within 15 minutes. So this service will the increase your the replication speed on the between the data. So and if you will enable this, then it will cost you additional cost, right? So I'm not enabling at this moment, and I will be going with the multi-region by default. And let's suppose if you are going with the regional, right, so lowest latency within a single region. Let's suppose if you are if you are going with the any of the regions, right? Let's suppose I am taking this one, right? So you have the lowest latency, right, within a single region. So that is all about the location types which is available in the GCP storage bucket. So let me take a default as a multi-region. I will be not going with the other default. Okay, click on the continue button. Next we comes to the how to control object to storage, right? So this what it say, prevent public access. So by default, when you will create any storage bucket, so that would be the private. It will not be publicly accessible via internet. So let it keep private at this moment. And second option is access control, whether you want to control your data access on the bucket level or the object level. If you want to go with the object level, then you have to click on the fine grain. So it specifies access to individual object by using the object level permissions, right? ACL based, we can say, in addition to your bucket level IAM permission. So we are not going with the right now with the fine grained on the object level. We will be going with the this only for the bucket level access. Let it keep the default, and we will be discussing later on when we will be talking about the permissions and access part. So we will be switching to fine grained as well. So but well, at this moment let it keep as a uniform. Click on the continue, and in the final select how to protect data, right? So how we want to protect our data is always protected by cloud storage, right? That is something like the encryption and all that, the default detail, and all the data is encrypted in the cloud, right? But however, if we want to additional data protection, right, then to avoid the data loss, right, then we can go with this option. So these are the protections strategy and tools they have available in the GCP bucket. So if you want to go with the object versioning, right, so this is for the best data recovery. And you know that what is the object versioning. So object versioning, we can say that it will, when you will enable this object versioning, so what it will do, it will keep the multiple version of your object. Let's suppose you have a file and uh, you have created some data into that, or you have inserted some data into the file and you have uploaded that file. After 1 hour or after some time, you have added some more data, right? And you are going to upload again that file. So it will, your storage bucket will have the true version, right? So in case if you are going to delete the current, right, so you will have the older file, and you can bring that to back all the data, right? So this is based on the object versioning. So it will create multiple version, and the current version would be as a current version, and the other would be non-current version, right? So further we will be discussing later on this, but right now and if we talk about the retention policy, so this is best for compliance, right? So this prevent the deletion or modification of the bucket object for a specified minimum duration, right? Let's suppose we want we have uploaded one of the file and we don't want any modification or deletion, right? So nobody should be able to delete that file or should not be able to do the modification on that file. Then you can go with the retention policy. So based on your retention policy, let's suppose enter a duration, it is saying enter a duration. So for how many times, right? Whether if you want to keep for second, days, month, year, so based on that, based on your requirement, you can select here and then enable this retention policy. So we will be not going with right now with the detention policy and the object versioning. Later we will be discussing on that, well, right? And if we click on the data encryption, right, so by default it will give the encryption as Google managed encryption key. And if we are any customer, right, which has the customer managed encryption keys, which is being created in the KMS. Sometime we will be also creating a video on the KMS, right? So you can, if you will select here, then it will ask you to select the appropriate key, encryption key, in order to encrypt the data, right? But right now we don't have any encryption key, so we are not going to select this option. We will be going with the default encryption provided by GCP only. And let's click on the create button, right? So it's saying public access will be prevented. So let's enforce public access prevention on this bucket and confirm. So now it has, we have created a bucket, and that bucket name is, let me come on the this one, and here you can see here is the bucket, right? already, and this is the multi-location type when it was created, default storage. And further, if you want to see all the detail, then you can, what you can do, you can select the bucket and click on the configuration, so it will give you the default configuration which is available and you have created, right? When it was created, when it was updated, location type, and whether repetition is a default or the turbo, right? So all data would be comes into the configuration. Okay. Okay, let's, if you click on the object, and it will show you all the object, if there is any objects available in the files, right? So here you can see the upload folder and file folder, create transfer data and all that, but I'm not going to deep into this option right now. So right, if you want to see any deleted data, right, then you, what you can do, you can enable this facility option or enable this feature, so it will give you the all the deleted data. Okay, so let's talk on the options available on this, right? So at this moment it is not the public, right? So as I said that by default when you will create the any bucket, it will be a private. So let's suppose if you want to make it public, right, then what you have to do, you have to just go to the you have to click on the three button on the menu button and go to the edit access, and you have to click the add principal and all users, right? It's saying email. Okay, sorry, all users. I think I'll have to see on this that how we will see on that all user. Yeah. Oh, okay. All users, all users. I think so. Oh, I think the since the public access prevention and force on this bucket, so it is not allowing us. Let me remove this. So remove the public access prevention, and then only you would be able to all users, right? Then we have to go to the edit access, add a principal, all users. I think it is not taking the, let me refresh the data, and then we can probably enable it. Select the bucket and go to the access and edit access. All users. Yes, it has come now. And what you have to give the storage viewer role, storage viewer, storage object viewer, so the users can read the allow public access. Now it is saying to your resource will be as a public. So let me refresh it here, right? And it is saying public to the internet, so any object would be accessible over the internet. So if you want to create the make the this bucket as a public, then you can go with the this option. So let me remove the same principle again. As here you can see check whether the public access is given or not. Then what you can do, you can filter with the all users, so it will show, yeah, definitely we have the one of the object viewer role available to the all users. So we are going to remove this, and you can select this remove all user from the all role in this resource hierarchy. So yeah, we have, and you can click on the prevent public access, so it will make it automatically to the private, right? Okay, and let's refresh it. Okay, now it has become automatically now the private. Okay, so we have discussed about the how we can make the bucket as a public and private, right? So by default it is private, and in the production most of the time the data would be private, but in some cases there may be requirement to make it public, then you can make it a public. Let's further come to the permission, right? So as here we can see, right, so this is with respect to the public and private. So the same we can remove from there as well, from you can, if you want to remove here as well, right? So this is what, and as we were talking about that the storage options, or whether we want to give the permission based on the object or the right object level or a bucket level, then we have given that uniform during the bucket creation. But now if you want to change to the fine grain, right, then you can save and allow the, so it will it will switch to the, and if I come right and let me upload one of the object inside of the file, and let me upload. Okay, it is started uploading the data, and it has uploaded successfully. And now if I it is not public at this moment, and if you want to make it public, this specific object, then what you can go to the edit access, and what you can do, add entry, new entry, and you can select as a public, so it will give the all reader access, or if you want to honor access, but let keep it as a reader only, right. The member binding all user authentication are not allowed since public access. We also have to remove that public access prevention, which was showing there, because it was on the bucket level. So let me select and go to the permission first and remove this, and now come back to the our object, and then only you would be able to, sorry, you have to go to the edit access and then make the entry as a public user. So you can give to another project or how you want to access. So this object is now to public to the internet, and we have copied the URL, and if we want to access here, then it would be accessible here, right. So this was the picture I was uploaded for here, and let's make it remove it the access again. Okay, and we have made it as a private again. Next, if we talk about the protection, right, so we were talking about the object versioning, and this is best for the data recovery because it's make the multiple object, right. So when we enable this the object versioning, right now it is up, and if you want to enable, right, then what happened that it will create multiple versions, so it will increase the cost of our storage, right. So what you can do that when you enable this, and if you want to remove the older version, right, then what you can add the multiple rules, or you can also say it is saying that create lifecycle rule, based on that lifecycle your data would be deleted or it would be moved to another, right. So let me, we have enabled, right. So now it is saying that you have no lifecycle rules that apply to non-current version, right. So what you can do, you can either you go to the lifecycle and create the rules here, right. But we will be talking on this later on, right. So but you can create the lifecycle rule here, right. And now the when I will create the files, right, so it upload the files, so it will create the multiple versions, right. So this is object about the object versioning, and let me make it turn off. And this is the retention policy best for compliance, as we were talking that if you want to retain your object, right, without modification or deletion in the bucket, right, then you can enforce the policy, right, set in retention policy. If you want to that nobody should be able to delete my object for at least for the one day, right, then you can go with this and enable this retention policy. And if you will log, right, the unlock and lock, what is the lock and unlock, so object in the unlock state, object are retained for the policy duration, but the policy can be edited or removed. And when you will click on the lock, right, the policy can't be shortened or removed by anyone looking, a policy can't be undone. Just like the, if I enable this, then it would be lock, right, where the policy would be locked completely and nobody can delete this policy. But let me don't lock it right now. So if you want to, then you can do it in the unlock state, you can edit and remove as well. And the third one is the default event based hold option. So this is the something in the advanced, so most of the time we will be not using, but yeah, definitely if you want to know, right, when this option is enabled, the event based holds are placed on object when they are uploaded to the bucket, right. The support event based retention strategy start the clock on the object, right. So it is with in addition to the retention policy. So if you want to know more, then you can visit this storage docs object holds. So it will give you the more overview on the object hold, that how it is working in the backend, right. So we are not talking to much more on this right now. Further, as we said that life cycle, so life cycle rules let us apply actions, right? It makes the actions or the will build actions that when, let's suppose we have different storage class, and we, so storage class as a cold line, near line, right? So let me give us some overview on the storage class. Let's click on the create button, right? So here is the storage class, right? Okay. So we can see here that it's set a default class, right? So it set the default class, right, automatically, the standard class. And if you click on the auto class, this is just like the AI based the automatically transitions as object which is older or the, right. So automatically it would use the retention or the something like that. Let's suppose we have the object uploaded, right, and that is frequently accessible, that would be stay in the storage automatically. And if any object which is not accessed within a month, right, or the older than 30 days, then it would be transferred to the near line, right? So all this let's understand what is the standard near line, cold line, archive line. So standard is the best for short term storage and frequently access data. Let's suppose your data is frequently accessing every day, right? Then your data should be available in the standard class, right? And this nearline class is best for backup and data access less than a month, right? So let's suppose if your data is accessed only once a month, then your data should be reside in the nearline. So this is for the cost optimization in the storage. And if your data is only accessible once in a quarter, then you can go with the cold line, and your best for long-term digital prevention of data access less than a year, right? So this is for the archive. For that only we can use the standard. So in the same manner, right, when we are going with the life cycle rules, so the life cycle rules give us the ability to move automatically data into the different class based on our requirement, right? And also give us, let's suppose if we want to delete, right, some kind of data. Let's suppose we want to delete data which is older than 7 days, right. It is saying set storage class to nearline, or how you want, or delete want, or just like the select an action, what action you want to do, whether you want to send the data to the near lines, send to the cold lines, send to the archive, right, delete multiple upload, or delete object, or what you want to do. So let's suppose if you want to data delete, then what you can go with the delete object and delete multipart. So it will give us the object condition, on what condition your data should be deleted, right? So all these are the multiple conditions based on that. Let's suppose any data which has the 2 days old, right, then it would be automatically deleted. If you want to send the data into the near line or the cold line based on, right, just like the any data which is older than 30 days, then we want to move that data into the near line, right, then all the data would be go into the based on the condition we have selected there. And we can click on there, let's suppose, okay, and click continue, and it will, whether a rule we want to, but let's we are not going to create right now. But if you want to create, then you can go ahead and create the. Further, it gives the observability since like the monitoring, right? So what object or all that. So error, client error rate or server error rate, all we can read and write. So this kind of the data we can have a look on the observability tab. So this is all about the storage bucket. And if you want to go very deeply on this object storage, and if you want to go into the exam, then definitely you should go with the storage documentation. So it's give you the lot of details and the in deep knowledge. So you would be going through all the details, and you can get a lot on this. So that's all about the cloud storage bucket in the GCP, and this is object storage. So, and let's give me more thumbnail, the reminder or pointer here, that when you are going with the lifecycle rules and you have the multiple rules, right? And let's suppose you have created one rule for deletion and one rule for the moving data, then your deletion rule will be taking precedence over the moving of the data. right? And the single in when you uploading the data into the cloud storage, then your single file may be maybe the 5 TB largest, but and in this that type of the file you can upload as much as per your requirement, because it is unlimited storage available in the cloud. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for joining me, and let's meet into the another video. Thank you for joining me. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Take care.